I'm back with another long-awaited film-related video. I feel like most of the people that are subscribed to this YouTube channel are here for film, so I'm delivering, and this video is going to be all about disposable cameras. The amount of questions I get in a day about film in general is actually crazy, so I'm going to try and answer all of your questions. I have a little agenda of things I want to say about disposable cameras, and then I'm going to go through some questions that I've gotten DMs about and that have been left on my YouTube videos. So this video is all about disposable cameras. I'm going to try and break it down as simple as possible, so if you have never used film before or really want to get into it, I hope this video is going to be helpful for you. If you haven't seen my last few videos, I have, I think, 3 film videos now. The first one is kind of just an overview of all the different kinds of film cameras. The second one is all about point and shoot cameras, which is, I think, a cheaper option than disposable cameras. And then the third is about my 3D film camera. And if you want to know what that means, you should go watch that video. That camera is very cool. And I haven't used it in a while, but I should. Okay, anyways, today is going to be all about disposable cameras. Before I get into the video, I just want to introduce myself again. My name's Natalie. I am 20 years old. I go to USC in California. And I'm studying econ and math. That has nothing to do with this YouTube channel, but I mainly post fashion and lifestyle content on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and I'm going to try and throw in some more photography related videos. First things first, I need to explain the science behind film cameras because that is the only way that this will actually make sense to you, because I get a lot of questions about how you get the pictures onto your phone and how you can see the pictures, but that is just not possible with film cameras. So let me explain. Inside every one of these is one of these, and this is a roll of film. And inside the roll of film is a long strip of plastic that is light sensitive. So that means if light hits it, then it'll change chemically, and that's how your picture is formed. So if you think about it, what you see in reality is just light bouncing off of different objects in the world. So the light sensitive film absorbs that light that's bouncing off, and that's how your picture is taken. And they go onto these strips of film. Usually it's a long strip, but they cut it when they send it back to you. These are the negatives. This is what you call a negative. You can see it's kind of just the inverted form of all of my pictures. So when you take a picture, inside there of the camera, there's a little like flap, and it just opens and closes really quickly when you press the button to expose the little piece of plastic to the light, and that's how your picture is taken. So what in developing, the piece of plastic is completely in the dark, but it goes through all these chemicals that changes the composition so that the film isn't light sensitive anymore. And that's why I can hold these up to the light and it doesn't take a picture. I really hope that makes sense. Okay, let me recap. The light sensitive film absorbs light really quickly when the camera button is pressed and the shutter opens really quickly, and it absorbs the image of what's happening in person. And then in a really dark setting, someone goes through, takes the strip of plastic out that's light sensitive, puts it through all these chemicals, washes it, does all this processing, and changes it so that it can be in the light and that you can see what the camera captured. So that's just the basics. You send your film somewhere to get developed so you don't have to deal with all the chemicals, because it's a long process that's confusing and could be easy to mess up if you have no idea what you're doing. Next, we're going to discuss camera options. I usually just buy these Fujifilm ones just because they have them at my local CVS and I feel like they're the most common, but I know Urban Outfitters sells them, different drugstores usually sell them, you can find them on Amazon. The only difference between this and, let's say, a Kodak camera or any other type of disposable camera is the effect. The easiest way to explain this is like the filter that they give off. Basically, filters are replicas of what film looks like. The difference between each camera is kind of the vibe they give off, if that makes sense. There really is no difference. All the cameras basically work the same. You push the button, you wind the film, and you always use the flash, because if you don't use the flash, then your pictures turn out looking like this, and you don't want that. So always use the flash, wind the film, and when you can't wind the film anymore, that means you finished your roll. So when you finish your roll, and that means it's time to get your film developed. Okay, so this part is probably the most confusing for people, but I think now that you understand that this has to go through a chemical process and it has to be sent somewhere else to get developed, it might make a little more sense to you now. But basically, you have a lot of options. A lot of places have local photo developing shops. Usually they're like photo studios, but that is my number one recommendation as of now. Find a local photo shop that will develop your pictures and scan them. If you don't get them scanned, then you're kind of stuck unless you have a scanner, but that's a whole other thing. My camera died, so we're back. That's why it's a little darker. It's a few hours later. Just Google film developing and scanning near me and find a local like developing shop. They're usually like portrait studios combined with developing whatever, but I think that's the best option. It's usually the fastest. I've gotten mine back within a few hours. You can support your local business. It's just a lot more convenient and it takes a lot less time because your other option is mailing in your film to a developer. I used to use the darkroom all the time before I found a local film developing place that was a lot faster. I would go watch my point and shoot film video for more of an in-depth description of how I use the darkroom. I know there's Indisposable, which I've seen on TikTok. There's this account on Instagram called z41.film, and I think it's just like it's just a girl that I found on TikTok who started developing people's films. Those are your main options. Either find a local place, which is what I recommend, or mail in to the darkroom, Indisposable, Z41 Film. I will link all of these places down below and more. I will also link disposable cameras that you can buy. One of the main questions I get asked is, how do you get the pictures onto your phone? Now that you know, it needs to go through this whole chemical process. Ask for scans. So scans are basically when the film studio or whoever you sent your film into takes the negatives, takes these, and has like a special camera to like magnify each of the squares and invert them so they're the right color. So ask for scans. That's how you get them onto your phone. If you don't ask for scans, they will just give you this back and then you have to figure it out on your own. I know there's like apps that you can do it with, but it's better to just pay for the scans or have the scans. Usually it's free to add scans to your order. All right, I think that's it for this video. If you have any questions, comment them below. I try and get back to your comments as soon as possible, or DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is at itsnataliepark. Go watch my other film videos if you haven't already. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you are into the fashion lifestyle content, more college content. I'll see you soon. Bye.